You know, I was at that football game at UGA. My first UGA football game ever. A friend of mine from work had given us some tickets and said, you know, go enjoy the game. And, you know, while Georgia was certainly, you know, beating Southern that day in the halftime show, when the band came out, yeah, Southern just completely embarrassed Georgia with their band. But I remember when that injury happened, the shock, you know, the shock from everybody in the crowd. But never did I imagine that we'd be sitting here today. You know, but it's written that everything really works together for our good. That nothing really happens by accident. You know, we're celebrating Black History Month in the month of February. For Latinos, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month between September 15th and October 15th. But I'm going to tell you que lo que hay aquí es una conexión. There's a connection here. Hear me out. The connection is this. Back about over 10 years ago, how many of you know, cuántos de ustedes han estudiado o conocen el Dr. Martin Luther King? Already? How many of you guys have studied or learned about Dr. Martin Luther King? Hear me out real quick. About 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice King, gave me a call and said, Eddie, I want you to come to my father's annual service that they have in January, and I want you to be one of the guest speakers. And I wanted to say to her, pero muchacha, yo soy de Puerto Rico, que yo sé de la historia de los afroamericanos. You know, I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm from Jersey City. What do I really know about, you know, connecting with African American history? But hear me out. When I met her mother, Coretta Scott King, you know, I began to talk to her just to kind of get to know her a little more. But a lot of the struggles that happened in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, a lot of those struggles, whether we like it or not, many of them are happening today, in one way or another. Y esos mismos retos están pasando con Latinos, right? Those same kind of challenges, those same kind of struggles are happening with the Latino community, right? But what's going to happen when we have a gymnasium and we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month? And you've got, you know, in a country like America, and you've got Caucasian people and Latino people and African American people and Asian people and Middle Eastern people all holding hands together, all believing one common goal, that we all should be created equal. If you would have asked me, listen to me, if you would have asked me when I was your age, in high school, and I was wilding out, you know, fumando una cosita que no debía fumar. And I'm not going to translate that one. You can tell your neighbor about that one. If you would have asked me back then one day I would be speaking, at a Dr. Martin Luther King commemorative service in front of the First Lady of the United States at that time, Laura Bush, Coretta Scott King, all the news media, all kind of doctors and everybody, I would have said there's no way. But here's what we're here to tell you today. There's a plan for your life. And there's a plan for your life that one day you might hold this microphone and you might be able to encourage somebody. There's a plan for your life that maybe in the social studies book or American history books that you guys are using in your classrooms, that maybe one day there's going to be chapters that are written about your history and about your struggles and how America has evolved and how America has changed, right? So this brother, when he went to that UGA game that day, he never imagined that he would be here today. But there was a plan for his life, and there's a plan for every one of your lives. You're here today for us to be able to learn about the incredible impact of past and future history in the African American culture. But I'll never forget this. I was at a meeting one time with she used to be the mayor of Atlanta. Her name was Shirley Franklin. And she was meeting with a bunch of pastors. Se estaba reuniendo con muchos pastores. Y habían pastores que eran afroamericanos y habían pastores que eran latinos. There were African American pastors and there was Latino pastors. And this is what the mayor of Atlanta said to the African American pastors. She said, we should really be holding the arms of our Latino brothers and sisters because the challenges that we went through, many of them are going through those today. So that's why we're here today. We're here today to thank God for America and its history that while we celebrate Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation and George Washington going across the Potomac, there's also different parts of history in America that include major contributions from African Americans. In many regards, the United States was built by a joint effort of the people who discovered this land or came over here, American Indians and African Americans. And today this land continues to be built by a lot of Latinos. Can we just be real? If I was George Lopez right now, I would say, try to find a subdivision that's being built, you don't find a Latino on the roof or in the walls or cutting the grass. Está loco, muchacho, está loco. Listen, we're gonna do one more giveaway.